I may be wrong, but I highly doubt any self-respecting dude can honestly look themselves in the mirror and tell themselves they'd prefer to have love handles, a spare tire, and a muffin top that makes them look and perform like a big bag of shit instead of a nice, tight, ripped up, and powerful set of obliques that allow them to look and perform like a badass. So what I'm going to do for you today is share with you my top 8 oblique exercises that will help you look and perform like a beast, as well as the #1 exercise you have to eliminate from your oblique training regimen. Let's get started. What's up, meatheads? Coach MANdler here, Team Soul Patrol. As I mentioned earlier, today's video is all about me sharing with you my favorite oblique exercises that will give you a tighter and more powerful set of obliques so that you can perform like a badass both inside and outside the gym, plus have that lean, ripped up look that gets the chicks all hot and bothered. Not only that, I'm also going to share with you the #1 oblique exercise that needs to be eliminated immediately. One that's absolutely dicking your lower back up and that you got to put on the kibosh right now. But before we talk about any of that, let me first give you this disclaimer. I don't care if you do each and every one of these exercises correctly in the correct volume that I'm going to be telling you to do. If you do all of that, but still have a damn layer of fat over your abs and obliques, you're not going to be showing off that ripped up six-pack that get the chicks all hot and bothered. It's not going to happen. If that's the case, and one of your goals is to have a six-pack, then you need to do 2 things. #1, quit eating like a fat chick watching late night Lifetime reruns. And 2, be more goal specific with your fat loss. Throw in some finishers on a daily basis. Throw in more advanced fat loss routines like the brick shit house training that I upload every Wednesday. Do those 2 things, dial in your eating, and I can guarantee you're going to be well on your way to having that just dirty, ripped up, powerful midsection that you're looking for. Now, it's important to note that the obliques that I'm referencing in this video are going to be your external obliques, the more superficial set of obliques. And what their form and function is to work in conjunction primarily with the rectus abdominis, your abs, to help pull the chest down and compress into your abdominal cavity so that you can increase intra-abdominal pressure when using the Valsalva maneuver or when bracing to really eliminate a lot of the power leaks and to create more stability in your thoracic spine region. But that's not the only thing that the external obliques do. They also provide stability during rotation and lateral flexion at the spine. That's why a lot of the exercises you're going to see us do here are going to be directly in correlation with help assisting creating more stability during that lateral flexion as well as that rotation at the spine. Now let's start with the simplest of all anti-rotation exercises, the Pallof press. When doing these, focus on having good thoracic extension, keeping your feet directly underneath your hips, not a wide stance. That's going to create manual stability instead of active stability. And when doing these, prevent the band or the cable that you use from forcing you into any rotation. I will say this about these Pallof reverse lunges. When holding it in that ISO position, it's going to be really tough. So these are more advanced, but nevertheless, great way to not only really engage your core, especially your obliques, but also fantastic for addressing your quads, your hamstrings, and your glutes as well. These are really cool. These I don't just use for core activation work, but also as a weak point supplemental exercise for my bench press and overhead press. These are going to be great for, like I said, not only really engaging all of your core, but also doubling up and helping to develop strength and size in your chest, as well as with these rows in your lats. So great way to not only address your core, but also work on weak point muscles that exist for your core lifts. There's a really cool one here. This is going to combine anti-lateral flexion work and anti-rotation work. Very challenging. Make sure when you do it, you stay nice and neutral. Keep that nice, tight, insulated spine. Do not allow any rotation or any lateral flexion. Tough one, but nevertheless one that will definitely help improve your performance and aesthetics. Next up are anti-lateral flexion exercises. When doing these, continue to keep that nice tight lifter's wedge, but the best cue I can give you is to stay nice and tall and keep that spine as perpendicular with the ground as possible. So we're gonna start with those suitcase deadlifts. Make sure when doing that, stay nice and tall, stay nice and tight. Doing the same thing, same cue with these single arm farmer's walks. And the next one is probably my favorite, kind of in the line with those anti-rotation rows and anti-rotation dumbbell bench presses. Great way to engage your core, but also work on weak points for both your bench press, overhead press, and also develop some kick-ass size in your upper back and in your delts. Now, as for where you throw these in and how much volume you program into your personal routine, what I typically like to do is throw them in right after my dynamic warm-up to help really prime my core so that I don't have any power leaks going in to my heavy big lift of the day. But it doesn't really matter if you do it there or at the tail end. What matters most is that you are doing these exercises. And as far as how many you do, I typically only do maybe 1 to 2 different exercises that I listed in this video a day, and maybe keep it from the 8 to 12 rep range. You don't want to go overboard because the usefulness of these exercises are in their execution. And towards the tail end, when your core is fatigued and you lose neutrality in your thoracic and lumbar region of the spine, that's not what we're going for here. And the whole value of these damn exercises is going to be thrown to the wayside. So make sure you keep the volume relatively low and you really focus on the execution so you can get the most from them. And before I forget, the number 1 oblique exercise that you absolutely must put on the kibosh before you herniate a disc is going to be the dreaded Russian twist. All right, I see way too many dudes doing this inside the gym. They're on their ass, their knees are up, their heels are together, and they're just moving side to side like this for like 20 or 30 fucking reps till they can't move. Look, that might give you a little bit of a burn in your abs and your obliques, but because of the unstable environment that it puts your spine in, very precarious position when adding spinal flexion and spinal rotation, you're putting yourself in position to herniate a disc, like I said. And that, if you've ever had that happen, absolutely blows. What I tell people to do all the time instead is to work on these exercises like the anti-rotation exercise and the anti-lateral flexion exercises and address your core training that way so that you can get that performance as well as the aesthetics. That's the key to core training. That's the way you make it to where you have that look and the ability to perform like an absolute ass-kicking machine. Hey man, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, let me know by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. And if you're trying to build a more ripped up physique, as I mentioned earlier, it's all about burning body fat. And if that's something that you're interested in, learning how to burn more body fat, but more importantly, doing so in a manner that allows you to maintain and hold on to all of your gains in size, speed, strength, and explosiveness, then do yourself a favor right now. What I've done is I've put together a really cool free seminar on how to burn fat while maintaining your performance, and it's called the Get Ripped Insider Seminar. I've put it together for you completely free of charge. All you have to do to watch it right now without paying a penny is either click on this button right here or go down to the description box and click on the first link that you see. When you do that, I'll take you to a free registration page which outlines everything you're going to be learning in this video, as well as how it's going to teach you how to burn body fat very quickly but not lose any of your performance gains at the same time. Like I said, completely free of charge, so just click here or down there and I'll take you to that page immediately. Appreciate your time, guys. Have a good one. MANdler out.